Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I wanted to do a kind of quick video of the top 10 do's and don'ts on keto, but they also kind of go for any other diet. So if you're not doing the keto diet, you're doing something else, Weight Watchers, Atkins, Whole30, literally any other diet, this kind of can go for you as well. So I took notes. So I'm going to look down at them every once in a while, so forgive me if I'm not looking at the camera. But number one is do get informed. I spent a good almost a year looking into the keto diet. I had a good friend who was on it and said, hey, Jackie, you should go check this out. And so I did. And I researched it. I looked up YouTube videos. I looked up people that were following this for years and doing this for years, and I made sure to kind of get as much good information as I could. And the don't part of this is don't get it from a non-reputable source. Don't go to your brother's, cousin's, mother's, whatever friend who's been doing it for one day and think that they know everything. It's not, they don't. I didn't. Like, I wouldn't recommend coming to me even after I had spent a year researching it on the first day, because it's their first day. They have absolutely no idea. They're doing it fresh and brand new, and things may work for them that don't work for you. So go to the people that have been doing it for years. Go to YouTube, look up different people who have, actively been living the lifestyle and see how that works for them. So take their advice. But somebody who's just starting out, they need some time to kind of figure it out. I did. So let's go to number 2. Go through your fridge and cupboards. This is the first thing that I did when I started. I went through and I looked at everything in my fridge. I looked at everything in my pantry. And if it wasn't keto, I removed it. The don't part of this is don't just throw it away. There are food pantries out there. There are people that will take it off of your hands as far as like giveaways. I know for me, I live in St. Petersburg, Florida. There's a online Facebook group called The Yard Sale where people give those things away. I mean, just don't throw it in the trash. There's people who are kind of in need. Number 3 is take it a day at a time, which is 100% true, because sometimes one day is a lot more difficult than the other. When I first started, the only thing I was looking at is, can I possibly stay under 20 carbs? I wasn't even looking at my calorie intake. I was not looking at any of that. I just was looking at, can I possibly even do this? Can I stay under 20 carbs? And the don't for this is, don't be upset if you can't. Don't be upset if there's a day that you just were like, well, I wasn't capable of doing it that day. Move on. There's no point in keeping a sad face or a sad heart because you didn't get it one day. So, number 4, enjoy new foods. Guys, enjoy new foods. There's things that are on different diets that you may not be able to eat as much on the standard American diet. Keto, we get a lot of extra fat, so there's a lot of extra things that I put on my plate that I wouldn't normally. So the don't for that one is don't obsess over each meal. If something is really super delicious and really, rich for keto, be really rich in fat and like kind of high caloric intake, don't obsess over it. Don't have that meal a bunch of times, because you're just going to put yourself back into the same situation as you were before switching, right? So you're just going to be eating a very high caloric intake. All right, number 5, check the labels. This is very, very important. A lot of people just go through the grocery store and just pick things out because it tastes good, and they don't look at the labels. And the don't for this one, and this is very, very important, don't mistake the portion size. Sometimes there's something that may actually work really, really well for the keto diet, but the portion size is really small and you may not realize it. So I mean, butter is very high in calories, right? So if you use a half a stick of butter in your vegetables, you're eating a lot of calories. Even though it's high in fat and high and low in carbs, it may not work for the keto diet. So that's just an example, but there are examples for every diet. Let's go to number 6. Anyway, celebrate your journey. There's nothing wrong with being happy with what you're doing. I know for me, I post a lot. I send a lot of updates daily. I post my food. I post what I'm eating. I have a Facebook group called Dirty Lazy Friendly Keto, and I post in there, and I tell them about my journey, and I do before and after pictures. I celebrate that. And that may not be something that you want to do, but it is kind of even something that you should do for yourself and make yourself feel better. And I do it for that. I know that sometimes that can annoy other people, but for me, I'm not bothered by them. And that kind of goes into my don't let others affect you. Don't let others say anything to you about it, or if they do, don't let it go to heart, because the happier you are on your journey, the happier you will be in the end. And not letting other people affect your happiness is crucial for you to keep going. And if you're trying to be thin, you're trying to be fit, it's really important not to let other people in your heart space. Okay, let's move on to number 7. Make small jumps. What I mean by this is, like, for me, I did just doing the 20 carbs the first 2 weeks. I needed to make sure that I could do that, so it was a very, very small transition. The next thing was to kind of start tracking, so little small jumps. The next thing was to track all of my macros, so I started doing that. The next little small jump was working out, was getting into a gym and actually starting to, do general movements. And then I started working out with a trainer, and then I started having major gains as far as muscles and like these things over time. And that leads me to my don't. Do not expect massive change immediately. Everything is a transition. Everything is very, very slow. And you kind of want it to be slow so it sticks, right? So all these little things I did, these little tiny jumps, worked in my favor. And here I am. So don't expect massive changes. It's just not possible. It's not like, hey, one day I'm going to be 185 pounds with, tons of muscle and ripped abs. That's not going to happen. That takes time to be there. And I say 185 because I'm tall, and that would be what I would kind of expect my weight to be at that point. Number 8, go out to eat. You're not stuck in a kitchen, guys. A lot of people seem to think you're stuck in a kitchen when you're on a diet, and it's all about meal prepping. And I don't meal prep. I've not meal prepped one time in this entire diet. You can, and it's probably easier, I would say, if you have something meal prepped. But I'm not somebody who likes to eat leftovers or the same thing every day. And it's just a reality that sometimes you can't. So go out to eat. Find restaurants that have the things that you're allowed to eat, or that can substitute things that you're allowed to eat, and utilize them. You do not have to be a home cook to be on whatever diet you're choosing. Keto diet, I go out to eat all the time. I have no problem. I haven't had a problem since day one. And my don't is immediately choose to cheat because you're out to eat at a restaurant. Just because you're out to eat at a restaurant doesn't mean you should. There's no point. You can. I'm not saying you can't have a cheat day, but If you are constantly having to travel, or you're constantly having to be one of those people who has to eat out at a restaurant, try to make choices that fit within your diet. All right, let's go to number 9. So number 9 kind of goes back to where I said at the beginning, I only did the 20 carbs for 2 weeks, but this one is more of a after that first 2 weeks. Track your macros. A lot of different people say that it's calorie in, calorie out, which is true, and it's true on any diet. If you are overeating and not working it out, then you're going to gain weight, right? And it's the same thing no matter what diet you're on. But track your macros. Try to stay within a normal caloric intake. If you're trying to gain muscle mass, you usually go a little above. If you're trying to lose weight, you go a little below. If you're trying to maintain, you should stay on about the exact same caloric intake that you've been on. So my don't for this one is, don't obsess if one day you go over or one day you go under, and try to make sure that you stick within your set macros. Number 10. This is the most important one, at least for me. Go get yourself a new outfit. Get yourself some new clothes. Start looking fresh. I mean, you've done all this work. Why are you living in some baggy stuff? And the only reason I'm saying is my husband does this. My husband likes to just live in his baggy clothes. I have to buy him new ones. But go get yourself some new clothes. Go through your closet, find the pair of pants from high school that for some reason you've kept around for 20 years. I have no idea why you do that, but people do that. And put them back on. If you've done all of this work, celebrate it. Get some new awesome outfits. Go shopping. Because you know what feels really nice? Going into a dressing room, trying on a different size clothes and going, this fits me. Oh my God. I cannot believe I fit in this size clothes. Here's my don't. Do not throw away your old clothes. I don't know why people do this. Donate them. Take them over and donate them. Donate them to the homeless shelter. Donate them to Goodwill or wherever your local donation store is. But ultimately, end of day, get yourself a new outfit. Go out to a restaurant. Eat good food that fits your diet. And celebrate your journey. And thanks for watching my top 10 do's and don'ts. And with much love from me to you, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.